Have you ever wanted to learn about all the pals in Palworld from some random dude on the internet? Well, this is the video for you. I've decided to sit down and rank all 111 pals on their stats, abilities, and just how much I like the character design. Without further ado, here we go. Alright, our first entry we've got here is Lamb Ball. Just look how cute it is. It's round. You could pick it up and use it as a shield with its ability Fluffy Shield, which is a little cursed, but hey, comes in handy in a fight, and it's good at your base. So honestly, you know what? Giving this one an A. You can find it really early in the game. This is like the first one you see, and he's a nice little guy. What can you say? Next up here, we've got number 2, Cativa, which is a pink cat. But its abilities make up for it because its ability helps you carry more weight, which is pretty cool, and it can mine at your base. You know what they say, the cats, they really yearn for the mines. I'm giving it a B. It's handy. Next up here, we've got Chikipi, which is chicken. It's literally just a chicken. There's nothing remarkable about it. Its ability is sometimes it lays an egg. The only reason I'm not putting this in F is because it's kind of cute. That's about it. That's a chicken right there. Now with number 4 here, Liftmonk, we start to get into real interesting abilities. By interesting, I mean, this pal's got a gun. Its ability is it hops on your head and uses a submachine gun. That's pretty awesome. And I mean, it's pretty cute. It's a little funny looking in my opinion, but it is cute. And it's got a whole bunch of skills you can use at your base. You know what? I'm gonna give it a B. I like it. Next up on our list here, we've got Fox Parks, which the name, it's kind of puts me off a little. I don't really like its name, but it is cute, and it has an incredible ability because you can pick this thing up and use it as a flamethrower. Literally just use it as a flamethrower. Who thought of that? Who thought, you know what? Let's let the players pick this guy up and use it as a flamethrower. That's an A. It's a flamethrower, pal. What more do you want? Next up here, we've got, whoa, if I pronounce that how I want to pronounce that, I'm going to have to bleep that. We better check Google here. All right, let's see here. F-U-A-C-K.
Fuick.
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 Okay, that's better. Okay, Fuick. We've got Fuick here, which is a water duck. It's pretty cute. It's got a bill on it. It looks angry. That's something. Otherwise, pretty unremarkable. It's got a water attack and doesn't really do much for your base. We're making it a C. It's got a funny name, though, so it's not a D. Number 7 on our list here is Sparkit, which is pretty cool looking. It's like a Sparky mouse here. The name leaves a little bit desired. Not a huge fan of it. But it's got static electricity as its ability, which lets you power up other pals in your team that are also electric, so it's kind of a helper. That's good to have around. And it's the first one you run into is an electric one, so helps electric stuff your base. I'm gonna give it a C. It's nothing remarkable, but I'm gonna give it a C. Alrighty, moving on here. This is what I'm excited about. Tansy, which is literally a green monkey, but I'm excited because its ability, Cheery Rifle, is just, this is a monkey with an AK. Its ability is it has an AK. This is the poster child of the game. It's all over the internet. How do you not love Tansy? That's an S. It's a monkey with an AK. Coming in at number 9, we've got Ruby, which partner skill here, Tiny Spark, increases the fire attack power of fire pals in your team. That's pretty nice. Pretty unremarkable other than that. I mean, it's Fire 1, nothing Fox Parks can't do, so I'm gonna give it a C. It's fine. You can power up your team, that's not terrible. Alright, next up, we've got another one I'm excited about here. Pengullet. It's a little penguin. It's adorable. Just look at it. The thing's adorable. But its ability is what really makes it here. Pengullet Cannon. The player just shoves it into a rocket launcher and uses the penguin itself as the ammunition. What? Who thought of that? Just shoving a penguin in a rocket launcher? That's an A or an S for me, I think. I want to reserve S tier for the really good stuff, so that's going in A. Next up on our list, and also penguin themed, very important here, and looks very cool, might I add, is Pen King. This guy looks like he can sail a ship. This guy is sailing a galleon around the seas. That's a cool looking guy here. And he's also got the skill of Brave Sailor, which is when you're fighting together, you get extra items from fire pals. You know, if you're trying to build some furnaces and whatnot, this guy is who you're looking for. I'm gonna give him an A, honestly. He just looks so cool. I love that. Coming in at 12 here, we've got Jolthog, our next electric pal, which its skill is pretty cool. You literally use this little guy as a grenade. You pick him up, you lob him, electric damage. That's kind of nice, and I mean, it's cute, but other than that, unremarkable. Can't do a lot for your base. It's just cute, and it's literally a grenade. So I'm going to put that at B right there. Lucky number 13, Gamos. It's a plant pot that's kind of upside down, kind of not upside down, growing grass on him. But the skill is logging assistance, which helps increase logging efficiency for you. That's fine. It's only got 1 skill, planting 2 for your base. I'm gonna give that a D. It's eh. Before we talk about our next pal here, I want to take a moment to talk about today's sponsor. You all watching the video. Thank you all for watching. I am way too small to have sponsors, so every like you leave really counts, and if you consider subscribing, it would really help my channel out a lot. Anyways, back to the video. Next up on the list here, we've got Vixie, which is a cute little dog-looking thing here, and it's got the ability of Dig Here, which will sometimes dig up items around your base, but those items can be Pal Spheres, so you don't have to spend time crafting those, and I think that's pretty neat. Other than that, unremarkable, so I'm going to give it a B just for that Pal Sphere ability. Who Crates? Who Crates here looks like it knows the dark secrets that will lead to the downfall of mankind. Or maybe that's just owls in general. No, yeah, that's just all owls. But anyways, Who Crates here. Who Crates can power up other dark pals on your team, so that's kind of neat. Helps out as a support there, but other than that, pretty unremarkable, other than the dark secrets. So I'm going to put that as C. Number 16 here is T-Fant, which looks adorable. It's a little water elephant, you can't go wrong with that. And its skill here, Soothing Shower, can restore your HP, which is very nice at low levels, because I swear, I'm always running around with like 50 health and I'm just on the brink of death, so I'm gonna give that a B for early exploration potential. Depresso, a pal I can finally relate with. Caffeine inoculation, much needed for daily life, but all it gives Depresso here is just running fast, and I swear, anytime I've had this thing at my base, it doesn't do anything. And that always annoys me, because I'm like, oh, let's use this little guy, he can mine, sure, and then does nothing. F. Searmus here is adorable. I would love to pet Searmus. Searmus looks very fluffy. And the skill here, Fluffy Wool, increases the attack power of your neutral pals, which you run into a lot in the game, so pretty useful, but can't do much at the farm. Produces wool, I guess, so for the fluffiness, I'm giving it a B. Daydream here is an awesome early game pal. Just go out at night and you'll probably find one. And it does good damage to have on your team, I tell you what. And the item you can get later on, the necklace, that lets you just keep more of these around as defense, is insane. You can stack up like 4 of these around you. I think this might be another S here. This is an early game powerhouse. Rushbor, something like that. Anyways, it's a pig. This is a feral hog right here, I tell you what. But you can ride it, and that's kind of nice, so I'm going to give it a C, because moving around the game faster is nice, because I tell you, it takes a long time to walk around. Nox here. It's kind of like an edgy version of Vixie from earlier, but its ability here, Kadur, that I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, is it applies dark damage to your attacks, so that's kind of nice. Other than that, it doesn't have much else special, so the dark damage is nice, so that keeps it up at a C here, I think, but I don't think I could put it higher than that. Fuddler. Now, that's a fun name for a pal here, I tell you what. And its ability here, Ore Detector, reveals nearby ore, which I don't know if it's really that useful. I haven't particularly had trouble finding ore in the game so far. You just kind of walk around and see big lumps of it. But purely for the name Fuddler, and it looks kind of fun, I'm going to give it a B. I like the guy. I like the little guy. He's got big claws, he's got big ears. It's cute. Number 23 here, Killamari, which is absolutely a play on calamari, so hey, I appreciate the pun there, dev team. I like that. And a skill here, Fried Squid, which doesn't really line up with the skill, but you could use this as a glider and float around on him. I like that. That's fun. I think I'm going to give that an A. I like ones that you can just literally use as a glider, especially because the normal glider, you run out of stamina so fast, so Killamari, that's a good one there. Meow here is pretty cool. I like the style of this one, very Egyptian. I'm a fan of that. I'm a fan of anything Egyptian, so you know what? The ability that it can do is dig up gold coins too, so it's an Egyptian cat that digs up money. That's pretty cool. I think that might be a B, though, because it doesn't do much other than just dig up gold coins, which I haven't found too much use for in the game yet. I'm not terribly far in, but I like it. Celery, which kind of makes me think of celery. That's already a knock against it. I'm not a celery fan. But it can be used as a glider, much like the Killamari, so that's a plus for it. But other than that, doesn't have much going on, so I really like the glider ability, so I'm going to keep it at B. Dire Howl here is another one you can ride. This is a mount here, and it looks awesome. This thing actually looks kind of menacing. I remember running into these, and I was actually like, ooh, that thing's kind of dangerous. You know what? That's an A there. That's a mount, and it looks menacing. Tuku Tuku here has an awesome mohawk, so I appreciate that. And also its skill here, Egg Bomb Launcher, turns this thing into a grenade launcher. You can just shoot eggs at things, so that's a massive plus. I think this is an easy A. It's kind of drifting towards S, but I don't think quite for some reason. Don't know why, but that's an A. Number 28, Floppy here. has a skill Helper Bunny, which picks up items near you, which is fine, but I can kind of pick up my own items. It's not that hard. It's pretty cute, so I'll give it that. Between C and D for me, I think I'm going to keep it at a C because it actually has medicine production too, which we haven't run into yet, and that's a useful skill, so C. Moo's Arena here, which you got multiple word plays going on here. Mooing, mozzarella. Other than that, it's pretty unremarkable. It's kind of cute because it's round, but just produces milk, that's it. This is a cow. I'm going to give it a D. The cute doesn't even make up for it, really. Bristla, which the design, not a huge fan of the design here. And it's just poisonous. That's about it. It's a grass pal, it's poisonous. But what makes up for it is its working abilities. It's got planting, handiwork, medicine production, transporting, gathering. It's got a whole lot going on here. So I think that moves this one up a little bit because of what it can do at your base. I think I might even move that up to a B here. I was thinking C originally, but I think we go with B. Gobfin, which looks like a little goblin shark. So you know what? That all adds up. It's got the ability of Angry Shark, and it'll just attack a targeted enemy with its laser aqua gun thing. So that's kind of nice. It increases your attack. Other than that, it's pretty unremarkable. I might drop this down to a D. It's just okay. It's not that good. Okay, I know I said earlier I really like pals that are gliders here, but Hang You coming in at number 32. Hey, that rhymed. It looks like a sentient tube sock. What is this? It floats around and grabs things. I like the glider ones, but I can't see this thing as anything other than tube socks. So, sorry, it's going down an F just because of the looks. Mossanda, a grass panda here that not only is it a mount, it's also a grenade launcher. While you're riding this thing, you can fire grenades from it. That's a massive plus. This thing is literally like a tank. This is driving around a tank here. It's got some awesome base abilities. I think we might have another S on our hands here, actually. This one, amazing. I love it. Woolly Pop, which I guess is a woolly cotton candy sheep thing. It drops cotton candy. That's something. I don't see much use for it other than that, so it's going in D. Caprity here. It's like a big ox-looking thing with a berry bush on its back. Its ability is just to drop berries when it's assigned to your base, so that's fine. It's food for the farm, but other than that, pretty unremarkable. I'm going with C. Melpaca, another mount here that you can ride. Other than that, it's pretty unremarkable. It can drop wool if it's at your base, but I'm going to give it a C. We've got a lot of mounts already, and this one is nothing special compared to the other ones. Now, looking at other mounts that are a little better here, Elkthidir, yeah, something like that. Anyways, it's got Guardian of the Forest, which means it can be ridden, and it does a double jump, even better, and it increases your efficiency of cutting trees. So you know what? I think I'm gonna give that a B. I like that one. Number 38 here, Nightwing. Now, this is a nice one. This is one of the early on birds you see flying around. And I tell you what, it does some good damage, and you can ride it as a flying mount. So that's real nice. I don't think it warrants an A, so I'm going to keep it in B here. Ribunny. Honestly, kind of unremarkable. It's a pink bunny, so it's pretty cute, but it's got the ability Skilled Fingers, and it can increase your pal's neutral damage on your team, but more importantly, it does increase work efficiency if it's working your base on, a weapons workbench. So this little bunny here is good at making guns. That's a little weird. I'm going to drop that to a C just because it confuses me. Number 40 here, Incineram. Kind of gives me vibes of like a devil goat thing, so cool design, I'm a fan. And its skill, powerful fire attack. I haven't found this one yet, but you know what? I bet it does a lot of damage, so it's going up in A. Cinemoth. Based on the design of it, I thought it was a fire pal. It's a grass pal. That upsets me with the misleading design. F. S-Rocks. Incineram was kind of a devilish goat thing. This reminds me of, for some reason, like a good fire goat thing. I have no idea why, but it's a mount. You can ride it. Other than that, it's a fire pal. So B, I guess. Demud. Look at this little guy. It looks like I don't even know. This looks like a catfish on land that forgot what day it is. But you know what? I empathize with it because I feel like that a lot. So I'm going to give it a B just because I like him. Look at that little guy there. Cognito. Scary. C. Les Punk. This pal here looks like it's really into metal music, and I like that. This one looks like it goes to shows and jumps into the pit. I'm a big fan. But other than that, it's unremarkable. It can detect dungeons nearby, which Again, I haven't had too much trouble finding like the ore, so not that handy. But it drops copper keys and silver keys, which, you know what? I see a lot of those chests around. I'd really like to get those keys. I'm gonna have to go find me some of these, but I'm putting it at a B overall. It's pretty good. Loup Moon. This one looks like it does a ton of damage, but I don't know why. I need the ones to stand upright like this. They just kind of off-put me a little with the design, so I'm leaving it in a B. I bet it does a lot of damage, but eh. Now, for some reason, when I saw this pal here, Gale Claw, it made me think of America. And I knew there was a reason why, because when I went to go look up its ability, you can fly on it, but you can shoot a gun from it while you're flying on it. That's an S because of America. Robin Quill here. Pretty nice. I'm a big fan. It's got the skill of Hawkeye, which is while you're fighting with it, you deal more damage to the weak points enemies. So that's a nice ability. But I think what really pushes me up for me here is it has a bunch of stuff you can do in your base. Got high level skills and whatnot, so I might push it up to an A. That's real nice to have on your team. Goriat here. Now this one, the skill name is incredible. Its skill name is Full Power Gorilla Mode, which is just, it literally goes gorilla mode and does extra attack damage. I don't know why. I really love it. I don't know if I can push it up to an S, but that's a definite A right there. B grade. This is essentially a B. It's got the skill of Worker Bee. It drops honeymoons at your base. It's got a lot of base skills that are nice, but I don't think that pushes it up anywhere good, so I'm going to leave it as C. Elizabeth. Now, this is the good bee here. Definitely play on Words of Queen Elizabeth. I'm a fan of that. It's got the skill of Queen Bee Command, which is while you're fighting together, your stats increase with the more B grades you have in your team. So you know what? If you got 4 of the normal Bs and you got 1 of these, powerful. Got some good base skills too. I think I'm going to give it a B. Let's go with an A. I think that's an A right there. Grintail here. This one scares me. I don't like the way it's looking at me. I don't like how it smiles. I don't want that thing at my base. It can be ridden. It's a mount, but I don't want to. That's an F. Swee. It's just a little pile of wool, I guess, with ears. Its skill is literally just called Fluffy, which is when it's in your team, its stats increase. Unremarkable, but not bad, so I'm giving it a D. Sweepa. This one is a little more interesting. It's got an ability called King of Fluff, where you can ride it as a mount, and then the more Swee you have on your team, the more powerful. But I don't think that's as good as the B combo, so we're just going to put it up to a C. It's fine. It's nothing that impressive. Chillet. It's an ice dragon here, so that's pretty cool, and its skill, Wriggling Weasel, is it can be ridden, and it applies dragon damage to your attacks while you're mounted on it. That's pretty nice. I think I'm going to put this one in a B here. Nothing that moves it up to an A or an S for me, but it's nice. Univolt. This thing looks like an electric deer. That's pretty cool, I guess. It can be ridden and applies electric damage to your attacks. That's nice, but other than that, I'm gonna put it at a C. It's nothing too cool to me. The Foxicle. For some reason, you can't ride this one, probably because it's a fox, but it increases ice damage on your team. That's fine. The design doesn't really strike my fancy. You know what? I might even knock it down further. It just does ice damage. I'm putting that in a D. Pyrin. It's a fire fox deer looking thing. It can be ridden and applies fire damage to your attacks, so that's cool. Otherwise, unremarkable. I think we're going with C for this one again. Raindrix, another ice deer looking thing. Only skill it's got here is Cool Body. Keeps you cool in hot environments if you're riding it, so that's good, but not great. I think this is a C again too here. Greyhound. It's a little lightning dog looking thing. Kind of like the design. It looks pretty cool. I'm a fan, but other than that, pretty unremarkable. You can ride it for some reason, but doesn't really do anything else, so it's a C to me. Kitsun. This one here is more interesting. Its skill is that you are not affected by cold or hot, which is a lot better than a lot of ones here. Some ones you ride, it just helps with cold or hot. This is both. That's a nice plus. This is a good mount to have around. I think that's a B. Might even push up into A here. You know what? It looks like it does damage. We're pushing it up to A. Number 62, Dazzy here. Kind of a weird cloud lightning little thing. Its ability is to just float around you and shoot lightning at stuff, so that's nice, but the design kind of confuses me, so I'm putting it at C. Lunaris. Kind of looks like Lucario, if you ask me, but you know what? It increases your carrying capacity with anti-gravity abilities, so that's kind of cool. There's not many that have increased carrying capacity yet, other than our little Cativa friend, so I think we're going to leave this in B here, too. Dinosaur. It's a grass dinosaur that you can ride, and it increases your grass attacks while you're riding it. Honestly, it's fine. It looks cool, but it's unremarkable, so that's a C for me. The Serpent is a boat. This is literally a boat for you. Its skill is Swift Swimmer, which is you can ride it on water and not lose any stamina, which is really good for travel. But this is a boat. This isn't a PAL. It's a boat. We'll leave it at B, though, because nothing here has been able to get you to travel on water. So it's a good boat. Marieth. It has the skill name of Messenger of Death, so that's pretty intense. But you can ride it. It applies dark damage to your attacks. Doesn't do much else other than that, but I'm going to put it as a B, because if I put it any lower, I think it's going to haunt my dreams. Digtoise here. Its skill turns into a Beyblade, and it just spins around and attack things, so that's pretty nice. And you know what? It's an effective minor, so I think that's an A, because this is a Beyblade. Tombat. Is it just a guy named Tom, I guess? Well, its skill is Ultrasonic Sensor, and you can locate nearby pals with ultrasonic waves, which I really don't have too much trouble locating pals nearby. They're kind of just everywhere, so yeah, D. Alright, what in the absolute hell is this thing? It drops Suspicious Juice and Strange Juice. Lovander? I don't like it. That's an F. That is going straight to F. Flambelle, number 70 here. Kind of looks like a candle with a face. Not sure on that one, but its ability is Magma Tears, where it drops a flame organ when it's at your base. And you know what? Usually you have to go find flame pals and bonk them on the head with a big stick, but this one just gives them to you for free. So you know what? I think that's a B. Vanworm. This guy looks cool. That's a cool bird right there. I love the design. And tell you what, it can be ridden. It's a flying mount. I like flying mounts. And you do extra damage to weak points while you're riding it. I'm going to give that an A. I really like this one. Bushi. This looks like a samurai with the giant hat, and it's got the skill Brandish Blade of when you're fighting together. It increases items dropped from neutral pals, which isn't that great of a thing unless you're trying to collect some items from them, but it just looks cool. I just love the look. I think I'm giving this an A too. Beacon. It's an electric bird here. Can't complain about that. Gotta love a good bird because it's a flying mount and gives you extra electric damage to your attacks. Not quite as special as the last couple, so I'm gonna give it a B, but I do like it. Ragnahawk. Now here we've got an interesting one. It's a flying mount. It adds fire damage to your attacks, and it just looks downright cool. That's an A. That's an easy A. Catris. Looks like some kind of evil wizard witch here that would whisper dark secrets in your ear about communism or something. I don't know. But its ability gives you extra damage from neutral pals when you defeat them. Other than that, it does drop high-grade technical manuals, which quite handy in the late game, I hear. So I'm gonna give that a B, I think. Wixen. It's a cool-looking Firefox guy here. Same kind of applies. Upright, standing, pals. Kind of weird me out a little. It looks a little too much like a person. It confuses me. But when you're fighting together, it applies fire damage to your attacks. So that's pretty cool. Nothing really cool beyond that, so B. Verdash. Same kind of deal as the last two. It's just a different element of those. When you're fighting together, it gives you grass damage. Increases your movement speed too, though, so that's kind of cool. But still, a B. Same idea as the last two. Veilet. Looks like some kind of weird floating flower that would haunt me in my dreams. Not a huge fan of that. And it just drops more items from ground pals when you use it, so I'm gonna give that D. Siblex here is a fancy ice creature that floats around and does very powerful ice damage to enemies, and if you have it assigned to your base, it'll produce high-quality cloth with its ability. I think that's pretty cool. I don't know if it's A cool, so we're gonna leave it in B here. Elphadran here is a flying mount that, when flying on it, dark pals that are defeated drop more items, so it's pretty cool. The design, not a huge fan of it. I think we're going to give that a C here. Coming in at number 81, Kelpsea. Doesn't do much. Kind of looks like a seal. It just increases water tax on your pals. And that's it. I'm going to give that a D because it doesn't do much at all. Azurobe here is a water dragon that you can ride on water, and while you're riding on it, applies water damage to your attacks. That's pretty cool here. Haven't had many water riders yet, so I think that's going to bump it up to an A because it's a dragon too. Again with the weird long arms. It looks like a child just windmilled this thing around and stretched it out. Cryolinks. It's a dragon hunter. You can use its ability to get extra items dropped from dragon pals you're fighting, so that's kind of nice, but the long arms, man, I'm not a fan. We're giving it a D. This would be the F for the long arms, but the extra dragon items are pretty cool. Blaze Howl. It's a flaming wolf you can ride, and it makes grass pals drop more items. Need I say more? That's an A. That's an easy A. Relaxosaurus coming in at number 85. Looks a little bit derpy, but its ability here is that it can be ridden, and while you ride it, you can shoot a missile launcher from it, which is awesome. And much like the panda earlier that shot grenades, riding something and shooting missiles from it rapidly, I gotta say that's an S. Bron Cherry. It's a big leaf dinosaur looking thing. Don't know why it's got such large leaves on it, but its ability Over Affectionate, don't know why it's called that, but it can be ridden and it helps carry items for you, so that's kind of nice. I'm gonna put that at a C, even though I'm sure that can carry a ton. Petalia. Looks like a little plant girl. I don't know about the design there. I like when they look like weird little creatures, not just people. But its ability, Blessing of the Flower Spirit, is when activated, it restores your HP, and that I am a big fan of, so I might bump that up to an A here. There's not many pals here that have been able to heal you yet. Reptyro here is basically a flame rhinoceros, so that's nice, that's cool. And its ability here is it is an ore-loving beast, and when you're riding it, you can mine ore super effectively, so that's nice. That's mid-tier. That's a B right there. Up next here, we've got King Paca, the King Alpaca. I love it. It's got a crown. Just look at him. He looks cool. And he helps increase your carrying supplies. That one, I think we got to put at, maybe an A, but I think this pushes up to S just because look at that guy. Look how cool he looks. Here's one I'm sure anyone who's played the game for more than 5 minutes recognizes. Memorist, the giant mammoth creature that hangs out at the beginning and kills you if you even look at it wrong. It's actually awesome once you finally catch it, but it gets some major downgrades for being a pain in the ass earlier in the game. We're gonna put that at a B, just for that. Wumpo. That's a perfect name for this little guy. It just fits. He can be ridden here, and he helps increase your team's carrying capacity. So you know what? That's an A. I like Wumpo. Number 92, Warsect here, is a giant beetle that applies fire damage to your attacks, and when you're fighting with it, it increases your defense. That's kind of nice, and you know what? This guy does some damage here, I bet. Haven't found one yet, but I bet he does, so that's an A. Fanglope here, much like many of the deer creatures from earlier. You can ride it, you get a double jump while you're riding it, and that's really about it. I think it's going to go in a C. It's got kind of a cool design, so it's not any lower, but C. Felbat here looks pretty edgy, so I'd be tempted to put a little lower, but while you're fighting together, it grants you and Felbat itself a lifesteal ability, which is pretty nice here, so that's going to bump it back up to a B. Quiver, it's an ice dragon. What more need I say? You can ride it as a flying mount, and it enhances dragon attacks while you're riding it. Other than that, unremarkable, so we're going to leave it at a B. Blazamut. This thing looks like it does some damage. That's a mean design on that guy. And you can ride it. It enhances your fire abilities while you're riding it. So you know what? I think I'm going to give that an A. Elzephyr. Now that's a cool bird. I said the other one earlier looked edgy, but this is a cool kind of edgy. That's a cool looking bird. And it's a ridden flying mount, which applies dark damage to your attacks. I like this one. You know what? I think I like this one so much, I want this to be my bird mount. That's an S. Astagon. It's a weird flying dragon thing that's got some purple stuff going on. Design's pretty cool, but all it is a flying mount that does extra damage to ore when you're flying on it, so it's a mining dragon? Doesn't quite make sense to me. But I do like the design, so we're gonna give it a B. Menacing here. That's a scorpion. An edgy scorpion, if you will. But when you're fighting together, it increases your defense and increases electric pale drop rates. So that's pretty cool. I bet it does some good damage, so I think we're going to keep it here in B. I was thinking C at first, but that does some damage. It's got a sword on its tail. That's a B. Wait, hold on. This one's literally just Anubis, the Egyptian god, the one that guides you across the river or whatever. That's pretty cool, but its ability gives your attacks ground damage, and it can dodge attacks in battle. That's pretty cool right there. I think I'm going to give this one A, because it's literally just an Egyptian god. Jormuntide. It's a sea dragon, so that's pretty cool, and you can ride it across water without losing any stamina. Much like our boat from earlier I mentioned, but it looks a lot cooler, and I bet it does a lot more damage, so that's sticking at an A. Number 102, Suzaku. Like how that flows together, but it's a fire dragon type deal. It's very red, very oddly smooth, but it's a flying mount, so that's pretty cool. It's got fire attacks when you're mounted on it. I'm gonna give it a B. It's decent. Oh, here's one I've been awaiting. Brisbolt. Need I say more? That's an S. It's a giant bear that when you're riding on it, it gets a minigun. This is another one of the poster child of the game. This was in the trailer. This thing's awesome. Leylene. Like some sort of humanoid plant thing. Yeah, not a huge fan of the humanoid ones. But it says when its ability is activated here, it greatly heals the player. And I do like the sound of greatly healing, so Not a huge fan of the design, so I'm going to give it a B, but that greatly healing does bump it up to that B. Polaris. It's a giant firebird. It's got gold and red on it. I love that design of it. And you can fly on it. What more need I say? I don't think it's an S, but it's definitely an A. Or Zerk. It is a giant lightning dragon dinosaur looking thing. That thing does damage. I have not seen one, but I'm just telling you that does damage. It doesn't have much of an ability. It just water pals drop more items, but that thing gotta do damage, so it's an A. Shadowbeak here. That's a mean looking bird. I like that bird. And when you're riding on it, dark elemental attacks are powered up. So you know what? I think, ooh, not as cool as the last bird, so I'm gonna drop it down to a B, but it still seems good. That thing definitely does some damage. Palladis. It's literally a knight. I know I said I don't like humanoid ones, but you know what? It's a knight. I love it. And you can use it to defend you. So you know what? That's an A. Oh, well, there's the evil version of Palladis. Necromus. A black knight. Very cool. And when you ride it on its back, same deal as the last one, you can use it to defend you. I still really like it. You know what? That's an A as well. Frostalion. This is a Pegasus here. So you can use it as a flying mount, and it'll give you ice attacks and upgrade your pal's ice attacks. This is a pretty cool mount right here. I kind of like flying around a Pegasus too. You know what? That might be an S. Last, and absolutely not least, Jetragon, number 111. It's got aerial missile as its ability, which is while you're riding it, you can continuously fire a rocket launcher. So you know what? That's pretty darn cool. I think we gotta finish off with an S. This one, it's got a cool design, it's a dragon ride, and it shoots missiles. What more do you want? Whew. Alright, so that is every pal in the game so far. They've already said they're adding more, and the game's only been out for a week, so that's awesome. But if you enjoyed this video, I'd love if you all like down below, and consider subscribing if you want to see more from me. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.